Hi all, welcome back to my channel. So this is episode 5 of my stalking and hacking story. Last time we left off with me mentioning that I moved into a new property, and that quickly after I moved, things started becoming the same as in the previous apartment that I was living at. So in this new property, I'm looking at my notes basically. I quickly saw the same pattern that I experienced in the other property. For example, I could see that my locks were now loose. When where you actually insert your key, normally it's kind of solid and you are not supposed to be able to push it in or to push it out. And I was seeing that after I noticed that people were actually coming into my apartment, I was seeing that the locks were kind of loose. So you can literally, what's the terminology? You can literally try to remove the lock, although it's crude, but still it's like loose. It shouldn't be loose, it should be solid in place. And every time I move into a property, the locks are always solid until this stalker comes into my apartment. And I think he is kind of using a method which is like, I don't know, it's pumping. I don't know, anybody that is like a locksmith should know. I don't have any clue about it, but I look up how people can actually break into your apartment if they don't have locks. And I think pumping was one of the methods that they use. So I believe this is something that happened in the second apartment. And also after I had changed my locks myself in the previous apartment. So all this was happening, and he was basically sabotaging me by using the empty flat that was opposite mine. So I was at that time living at flat number 4, and opposite mine, flat number 5, was unoccupied, as the guy who used to live there, he left the moment that I moved in. And so that apartment became available. And I was suspecting them because after I heard this voice saying smile, and I heard him going into the property next to mine. It was kind of one of these old-fashioned houses in London. So weirdly built because it's above like a store. And my apartment, for example, has like a level floor when you come in, and then the bedroom is downstairs, and underneath that is the other apartment, which is apartment number 3. And this is where this person, stalker, and his following was living. And then so they were using apartment number 3 and also using apartment number 5, and me being at number 4. Anyway, the whole story, because I think if I keep telling the story, I can go on forever and ever. But I'm just going to highlight some significant event that happened. One day, I actually decided to visit a friend or stay with a friend because I was so upset about everything that was going on. And my friend, which is a male friend, he suggested like, okay, why don't you come and stay with me? And actually it was a day before my birthday. So he said, come and stay with me for a while and then just relax, you can at least rewind, unwind. And so I took up on this invitation that he extended to me and mentioned like, okay, I will come that Saturday or that weekend to him. And it was going to be my birthday also, so perfect time. And yeah, so that night, sorry, let me just go back. The moment I moved into that apartment, as I mentioned, it was kind of a weird apartment. And as I also mentioned in the previous flat, I was afraid to basically sleep. So what I did was I will barricade my door with heavy luggages. In this apartment, it was the worst apartment actually to be hacked or stalked by some psychopath. So since the bedroom was kind of going down in a basement, which will mean anybody that comes in through the main door, um, which is the main entrance to my apartment, will be in the living room and in the second bedroom. So I didn't feel comfortable. And so I actually never made use of that bedroom, which was kind of going down a floor below. And so I stationed myself on the sofa while I was living in that apartment. Just terrible. 2-bedroom apartment, and I was literally only living in the living room. So I was sleeping on the sofa, and that night I woke up by a pumping sound. Somebody was pumping something underneath my door. It's like I said, it's one of these old buildings in London, and so this whole apartment is like covered with carpet, but underneath there is kind of a gap at the main entrance, so you can literally stick a hand underneath and you can feel what is on the other side basically. So I heard this pumping sound, but I didn't exactly know where it was coming from. I knew it was coming from the area of the main entrance. So I thought maybe somebody had actually come in through the second bedroom, and I took a knife and I was going to investigate if somebody had broken in the second bedroom and was making that pumping sound. So the moment I got there, obviously, here is the entrance. The entrance is on my left hand. No, sorry, on my right hand, and the entrance to the second room is on my left hand. It's like just, it's basically kind of close to each other, opposite each other. And so I opened the door of my guest room, and I entered there. I got in. All of a sudden, I felt really woozy, like I was going to faint. And before I knew, I didn't know what happened. I passed out, and thank God I was still holding the knife because I could have stabbed myself. I passed out in like, you know, in a. I think I passed out in a calm way. I did hurt my collarbone because I had like a cupboard beneath, as my collarbone was very blue after that incident. But the knife, luckily, was just sitting next to me. I was still holding it, but it was like in a relaxed state, and I was kind of like this. This is how I woke up. And I passed out. I don't know what happened. So then I got up and I was still very woozy. Like, literally, I don't know what was happening. I didn't drink or anything. I don't do drugs and all these things. So I got back to the living room and just something felt off. And my instincts kind of told me, like, open the windows. So I went to the window, opened the windows, and then I stood there. I think I stood there for an hour, because otherwise I would have passed out again. I stood there for an hour, breathing in the fresh air, and then I think I waited until the morning. I couldn't sleep, obviously. I knew that it's unlike me to just pass out. I don't have any illnesses and stuff. So It wasn't also like I didn't eat the night before or anything. There was no reason for me to pass out. And then I started thinking, okay, I heard that pumping sound, and clearly this pumping sound was some gas or whatever, I don't know what kind of chemical was being pumped under my door, which was odorless because I couldn't smell anything. And so this was the reason why I passed out. And the next day, I went to the hospital to have myself checked out. Everything was fine. They couldn't find out anything about if I inhaled some dangerous gas or coal monoxide poisoning or anything. They couldn't. I also called the gas company to come and have a look around if it was maybe coming from what is that device called, from the gas chamber or from the boiler, I don't know. And so the gas company also came. They did their investigation. They couldn't find anything. And I know, up until this day, I know he tried to kill me because he thought that I was going to some man and he was trying to kill me or whatever. I don't know what the action was about, but I passed out and I could have literally hurt myself. Thank God I only had bruises. That was it. But I literally went to that spare room holding a knife, expecting some burglar or somebody in there. That's why I was holding a knife. And I passed out with me holding the knife. I mean, what kind of accident could have happened, that I would have died because I stabbed myself? Oh my God. Anyway, so yeah, that was one incident that happened while I was living in that apartment. I kept sleeping on the sofa in my living room. I was afraid to sleep in the bedroom. So I think for as long as I stayed there, I stayed there for like 4 months. And then I was just tired because I was constantly, every time I go out to do shopping, for grocery shopping, and I come back, I have to sanitize everything. I have to throw things away. It was just getting tiring, and I wasn't really sleeping well and everything. Also sleeping on the sofa for 4 months. It was just getting to my nerves. And I even started having like thoughts of killing him. That's how far it got. I was thinking of ways that I could kill him and get away with it. And so that was scaring me because my mind was literally just focusing on trying to get rid of this person that was destroying my life without any reason for it. And so I said, okay, I have to leave this place because I can't live somewhere where he is also there, every day, because then he's torturing me every day. You can't escape him. There is no break 24/7. How long can a one person take it? So, as the previous time that I tried to find a new apartment, it didn't really work out because he's stalking me on every device. Even if I go to internet cafes, he's stalking me, or his handlers are stalking me. So I decided, okay, I don't know how to look for an apartment without using internet or any other device. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to leave, and then I will use the last money that I have, because mind you, for a year this person has been disrupting me and taking hold of my company. So no revenue was coming in. I was not able to search for a job because I was dealing with this psychopath 24/7. So I was literally living off savings and last earnings that I had. It was around December. And so I gave notice to this company. I didn't even like them, how they were acting about this whole situation, because I felt like, you must know something, you know. I asked them if anybody moved in just before I moved in, and they kind of lied about it. One guy said like, yeah, well, that person, somebody moved in August. And I'm saying, well, you see, that's why. That was the same time that I was supposed to come into that apartment. So, of course, they moved in August, you know. And then he said, no, it was August of 2019. You know, he was lying. Clearly, they were lying. And I don't know why. Maybe they were afraid that I was going to sue them or something. But they didn't deal with it. So I told myself, fuck these people. I don't care about notice period. I told them, I did send them a letter that I was going to leave because I didn't feel safe there. I was renting this place and it's supposed to be a place where I can lay my head, and it's not happening because I'm being haunted and stalked by some psychopath who is living next door. And they are not doing anything about it. So I left the property in December. I checked myself into a hotel. I went to one hotel. It was quite expensive. And then eventually I checked myself into another hotel, which was reasonable, still expensive because I was staying there. I think I stayed there until after Christmas. So for like 3 or 4 weeks, I was in a hotel. Throughout Christmas, I was depressed in a hotel room. But at least I had a peace of mind and I could sleep. I was able to catch up on sleep in that hotel. So that was really good for my spirit. And then one friend helped me to get a house share. And this house share, oh my gosh, it was in an area of London that I would never like to live. But you know what? When you're desperate, you're just desperate, you know. So I took it. It was a tiny ass room, like smaller than you will even give a baby. But you know, I told myself this is just temporary until I will search for a job and save up, you know, for the deposits and the rent, and then I will leave. There was one person living there in that building that was unstable in that house share. But I don't want to speak badly about him because he died after I left that house. This person also became my tormentor, and I believe he was being paid by my stalker. Sadly enough, he died 1 month after I left that place. From being homeless in December into moving into a flat share with unstable person, male, and then I stayed there for a couple of months until May. I started working beginning of 2021. And then in May, I moved out into my own apartment. And I was relieved. I went to another area of London again. And again, this is also an area normally I would not rent. I like Southeast, and if it's not Southeast London, then I like West London, Clapham Junction was also a very nice area. But ugh, the last two areas in London that I live were like not really the type of areas that I would like to live in. But it was okay because the apartment was very neat and it was quite a kids-friendly environment. So lots of families, and I thought, okay, this is actually might be good for me because kids are always playing across the street, the playground. Um, Families are watching them, their mothers and fathers are watching them. So I thought, like, okay, it should be very safe, and all the apartments are rented out, so I should not have any issues. So everything was fine until one day I came back from work, and then guess what? All of a sudden, my locks were loose. I'm like, not again. I went in, and the first thing I saw was footprint on my carpet. I had a little rug in the living room, so that's where I saw the footprint, a nail footprint, like, obviously not my shoe size. So I called the landlord and I told him somebody has been here, and obviously it was not a landlord, and he was really shocked about it. And then he said, well, I will call a company and then we will change the locks. So I think he tried for a couple of times to find a company. He said he was having issues with it, but eventually he found somebody. They came and changed the locks. And yeah, that actually didn't work because a month later the locks were loose again. I was going into the office because my internet was acting up again, and I'll be working, and then during meetings my internet was shut down. I couldn't get it up. It was like a lot of frustration. You are in a company where you have hard targets to reach, and somebody is like messing with you during important events that you need to do, so that you become very incompetent. I remember a time when I was interviewing, for example, and he basically disabled my sound and my camera. So I was doing this interview, and the interview on the other side was annoyed because my camera wasn't working, my sound wasn't working. For like 30 minutes, I was trying to get it to work. It wasn't working. Obviously, I didn't get a job. No matter how much I begged, I didn't get that job because this fucker just destroyed that opportunity for me. But anyway, it was not the right company for me, since that was how the events went. So it was getting quite frustration, and that's why I decided to go into the office voluntarily, especially when we were allowed again to go back into the office, thank God. And that was actually a good one, just to be on the people and engaging with them was nice. But yeah, I forgot also one significant thing that happened was when I was living in that house share. One night I was inside, but my lights were off. And so throughout the house, the lights were off. It was like a house with the bedrooms upstairs, and downstairs you have the living room. And I saw this guy, white guy, like in his end 20s, early 30s, walking up to our front door. So I stuck my head out and asked him, like, hey, what are you going to do? What are you Are you looking for somebody? And then he said something about looking for number 15 or something. And then I told him, well, that's not this door. You are at number 14. So you should go 2 doors further, And while he was talking to me, I saw this middle-aged blonde woman sitting in a car looking at me and taking notes. So this guy, I didn't trust him. I knew he was part of the stalker because I think they thought nobody was in. I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe install something in the house. And so I just kept looking. If he would walk down 2 blocks further or 2 doors down to that building or that number that he said that he was looking for. And he drove down the street and then walked up there. But he didn't ring the doorbell. I kept looking for 10 minutes what they were going to do. And the woman was still like looking at me, And he was looking to see if I was still there looking. And then eventually he drove off. So that was like this weird moment. And this is how you just know I'm dealing with a group of psychopaths who have I don't know who they are. Maybe they are from an organization. I don't know. But it was just weird how these 2 people were trying to get in. And she's basically on the lookout to see if anybody's coming and probably giving a warning. Because they were both in 2 separate cars. He drove like a black car, and she had like this mini car, but eventually both of them drove off. So that was one of the things that I had in that building. So moving again in my own flat, the same patterns, loose locks, footprints in my rug. I again asked the landlord to change the locks, then nothing happened. The hacking still became more frequently, and then at one point, I don't know what happened, but I started hearing like noises throughout my walls. And I was living in this building, which the kitchen was like a kept kitchen. And so it had like these small LED lights underneath the cupboards, the below cupboards. And I would see like if I will come down that the LED lights will be loose, and I will try to screw them up again, and then other time it will be loose again. So every time I kept trying to see what is there, because obviously you can take some of the panels away and then you can hide things there. So I was quite suspicious that maybe they have installed something, but I could never find anything because it was just too dark for me to see. Even with flashlights on my phone, it wasn't really working. To see what exactly was going on there. And I'm not as technical as this person probably is. So one day I was in my apartment, and then I heard this loud sound like an animal walking through my walls, literally. Oh my God, that almost gave me like a heart attack. I was so scared. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What is going through the walls, It was like a loud, like a rat or something, like a huge, humongous rat going through my walls. And I think I heard this sound like, hey, I think he had a dog or something. And the microphone, which he is obviously using to listen to me, the dog knocked it over, and that's why it sounded like the dog is going through the walls, So it was so freaky. So I started finding ways like, hey, let me see who was living downstairs. And those people that were living there, I think they had moved and somebody else had moved in there, which is odd, very odd. But I saw this person from what I could see out of my window, since they were down below me. So I could see that he had this installation installed in front of his balcony. It's like this Julian balcony, and it's like, it looks like a keyboard kind of thing, you know. And so I was looking with a mirror. Yeah, I sound like a psychopath now. But yeah, I could see, and I suspected that he had installed some mics in the apartment also. Yeah, so it was just, I was getting tired of constantly being followed. Nowhere I go, if I move to a new property, he will find a way to also move in there, you know, or find his handlangers to follow me around. You know, I will have people who are like wearing some construction type of outfit follow me in my area. And I'm thinking, like, where is a construction site? Is it not an odd time for somebody to be walking around? Construction people work normally very early in the morning. So while I'm on my way to work, I will see this guy who's always in construction outfit, but he kind of looks like a homeless person. I will see him like following me, you know. And sometimes I will even try to just let one or two buses go away, just to see what will happen. Like, just these random things. And so I got tired of it, because it was like, it's not conducive. If you are working in your house, you are being stalked, and then people following you around, it's just scary. It's scary because you don't know what their intentions are, you know. I mean, what is a hunter, a lion? They will stalk their prey until they get them. So I thought about it, and I wasn't happy. The job was very stressful also, and dealing with all of this, I decided, hey, maybe I should go back home, you know. And so I decided, okay, if I go back home, I don't think this person is going to follow me. So in October, I got an opportunity. I was being hired by a company in the UK as a contractor, but due to Brexit stuff going on, I wasn't able to show that I had rights to work in the UK. And so they had an opening in the Netherlands, and they said, if I wanted to move. And so I said, yeah. And that's how I moved. And I was hoping that this will be the end of it, that I will regain back my freedom, and that I will be able to live my life again, to follow my dreams, goals, and visions that I had, to become the ambitious person that I've always been, to become the happy person who is smiling and laughing every day. You know, I miss that person that I was. And so when I came here, I was literally hoping that this would have been the new start. It wasn't. It turned into a nightmare, because guess what? Whoever is stalking me, they followed me here. The same MO, the same patterns. I stayed in an Airbnb. There was no box of the internet. I had new devices from work. I was not using any devices from the UK. I sold everything, all my devices from there. And guess what happened? The moment I got my work device, I was in the train and I was setting up the phone. Work phone immediately got hacked. That can only be if somebody is following you. And my work phone, I work in tech. So MacBook Pro. And what else? iPhone. Hacked. I was staying with my sister also for a while, and I bought my own personal phone, and that was perfect. Oh my gosh, I think for 1 month I had freedom to be able to browse, to do whatever I wanted. And guess what? One day I'm sleeping upstairs in her attic bedroom, and I hear again that rat kind of noise, as if somebody is going through the walls. So the next day I asked my sister, did you hear that? Did you hear do you have rats upstairs or something? Because I heard like some creatures going through the walls, like as if a big rat was going through the walls or something, She said no. But later on, I thought about it, about several conversations that we had, and she mentioned that that her friend, who is also her neighbor, she had somebody moved into her house who was also living in her attic. And it's unfortunate because the moment I put two and two together was I had already moved, so I never would have been able to go back and say like, hey, who was that person that is living there at your place? Maybe, can we see him? Can we meet him or something? But once I started recognizing these things and my devices being hacked, I literally had 2 other devices given to me from work because they said, okay, maybe it's just a computer. I cannot get anybody from IT at work to believe that this is possible. They said, oh, maybe it's a computer. Let's change your laptop around because you're having too many race tickets. So VPN, he can easily disable VPN. VPN is just worthless. And the one thing that I noticed, how he is doing it, is through internet. So network security, that is where this whole culprit is. Because if I'm not connected to the network, he has no chance. So he is on my network. And at work, I don't know how he managed, but somehow he was also on the work network. And obviously, once you know your laptop, I will talk about it actually. I think I'm going to focus, after I wrap up this stalking story, I will start focusing on cybersecurity. But the moment he knows your MAC address, your email number, what else? Your device serial number and everything, you can't hide. I can keep buying devices. I bought 2 devices myself. I'm now stuck with 2 MacBook Pros. Useless. Lost money, wasted money. My iPhone. I bought an iPhone for myself, not for work. And that one got hacked. I stopped using it. I barely use it. I think altogether I used it 1 month. I sold it for £350. So I have lost so much money because of this asshole who was stalking me. And not just by making my life miserable, it's like that somebody has, I'm trying to find the right word. But basically, he destroyed my life, not only my life, he destroyed me, the person that I am. Like I said, I used to be a person who was very ambitious, like always working on her goals. I don't have ambitions in terms of employment, but I have ambitions in terms of doing something significant. And he destroyed that. He took that joy away from me. He destroyed the person that I used to be, a happy person. I have turned into like this extreme introvert person who is always sad or angry, and this is not me. It's scary that I've become a shadow of myself. What else did he did? He poisoned my lotions, my makeup products. My makeup all started smelling like chemicals. I had severe acne for 3 years. I literally had cystic acne. If you would have seen my face before, oh my God, you would have think that I was a monster. My face was so disgusting. From somebody who never had acne before, it was just shocking. Like, my whole face covered with cystic acne underneath the skin. And I found out how he did it. I have particular things that I use in my life. I'm very healthy. I like to live healthy. And so, for example, I squeeze a lemon every day. Lemon, hot water, and honey. This is something that I take as a religion every day. And this is something that he was able to use against me, because I used like quality honey, like real honey, and I was buying it from Holland and Barrett, Manuka honey and those type of honeys. And the smell when you buy it from the store is different. All of a sudden, every one of the honeys that I was buying, after it would come into my house, it started smelling like poop. And I thought, like, is it normal? Is it because it's natural? So I didn't really think much of it, and I use it. And I think this is where I think I got like infection, bacteria that got into my system. And due to that bacteria, my skin broke out. Another thing that he also did was, I don't know if it was bleach or whatever, but he put some chemicals in my lotion. So after each shower, I kind of lotion my whole body from head to toe. This is something that every African, no, I wouldn't say every African, I would say every person from my background, my ethnicity, Ghana, does, because this is how we were raised. And so, so this is also something that I do without even thinking. I lotion my body up every day after shower. And he put some chemical in. All of a sudden, my skin started peeling. I became very white. And my hands started peeling. It became like sandpaper. So awful. My feet, everything. It became so raw. I don't know. I think I got like 5 shades lighter. I became so white. I don't know what he was using. And my skin just got awful. Now it's healing. Since I got to the Netherlands, it's slowly healing. I think he has stopped whatever it was that he was using against me. So my breakouts are becoming less severe. And yeah, let me turn the light on. Yeah. So a lot has happened, and I'll be lying if I say that I'm okay. I'm not. I am hurt every day. I think about it every day. I feel as if I'm living in an open prison. And I don't know what I've done to these people to deserve this. And I don't see a way out. I have thought about ending my life, because I think everything is better than living a life in bondage. But then again, it's like, because of some asshole, I will kill myself. And the worst thing is that I think of what I actually want to do. I want to do something meaningful, and that will be such a waste if I end my life. I know I can't save the world, but at least I can try, and that's the only regret that I will have, if I will have to leave this life prematurely. The potential that I will take with me. And I don't want to give him that satisfaction. And also, my belief will not allow me to kill myself. So, yeah. This is the story of how I became a victim of stalking. And I did not ask for it. I don't know this person. I have never spoken to them. At least I think I have never spoken to them. But in all fairness, I haven't done anything remotely that awful that will grant somebody this kind of behavior towards another person. It's inhumane, it's cruel, and it's absolutely disgusting. So, this is the story of how this vicious stalker came into my life. And up until this day, it's still ongoing. He currently lives above me. And every day he tortures me. Every Monday or Tuesday, he will prevent me from working, and it will take me 2 hours to get connected. There is no day that goes by that I don't think about ways to solve this, to find a way out. I have confronted them even. The one thing about me is I'm fearless. I don't fear man. The only person that I fear is God. And so I'm not even afraid to die if he will try to kill me or something. But give me the chance to fight, I hate the fact that he's hiding in shadows like a coward. I want him to face me. After all, I'm a woman. I'm petite. So what harm can I do to you? Unless you are a weak man. So I know he's watching. He's listening in. Sometimes I will have a video call, and then I will close down my camera and he will turn on the camera again. But obviously I cover. The moment I finish my video call, I always cover my camera. And I will see that he had turned the camera on, as the camera light will go on my Mac. So always watching, always listening in. I don't know what his end goal is, but hopefully one day we will meet. And one of us will not be alive. So this is my story. Thank you for watching and listening. This today was very long, and a couple of times I was lost for words. But anyway, I think I'm still learning now about this blogging thing. So forgive me for the errors. And for it being so long, if you have actually listened all the way, thank you very much. I appreciate it. To me, this is therapy also. And so, yeah, from now on, I will start talking about other things. And I think I want to get into cybersecurity. And there is a lot that we are not doing, especially women. You have to be mindful. One of the mistakes that I actually keep making in my life is that I am nice. I hate that about myself. I don't know if it's culture related, but it seems I'm kind of a people pleaser. I am nice to people, standard. A lot of people think I'm a bitch because I like to take care of myself. I'm not. I'm a nice person. If you greet me, I'll greet you. If you smile at me, I'll smile at you. I'll pay you a compliment. But it doesn't mean I want to sleep with you. All the men who are listening, some women are just generally nice. It does not mean that they want you in any way, So it's, yeah, right now I found it very difficult to be a woman. And I hated that I am now suspicious of every man that approached me. And probably this will never change, especially white men. I am afraid of you because I don't know what kind of mental status you are in. I am afraid to smile at you. I'm afraid that you are one of these demons who is just lurking to attack. And that's what this person made me. And it's a shame. So, yeah, don't feel offended, but this is just my experience. You can't keep bashing somebody and expect that they end up being all positive and happy and not resentful. A cage animal will want to break free. And if you poke that cage animal long enough, it will turn around and attack you. That's just nature. So thank you for listening. Goodbye. See you next time.